I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is that
definitely.
one little thing can completely shift the way that you're thinking and feeling about the whole day. And is
your whole life.
Oh, your Hey guys, I am joined today by the lovely Zanna.
Hello!
Thank you for coming and joining me. Zanna and I have been having a chat about loads of different things, and one of the things that came up is the idea of bad days.
Yes.
Because I feel like with social media, especially, you kind of get this impression that nobody ever has a bad day.
Everybody's having the time of their lives.
And I really feel that actually bad days do happen, even to good people. And
They happen to all of us, guys. Everybody's human, so I just think it's worth us talking about it today and talking to you about how we get over a bad day.
So what are the if you're having a really great day, is there one thing that you know, if it happens, it's just going to send it the wrong way?
Yeah, like I am a super positive person, but the one thing that gets me is stress. So, for example, if it gets like 3 p.m. and I'm thinking, I'm nailing life, and then suddenly a massive project comes in and they're like, you have to hand this in tomorrow, and I'm just like...
And it's so bittersweet, isn't it? Because you're like, oh, this is really great, but now I'm really stressed.
Yeah, it's just like work overload. Because when I get really stressed, I just cry, and then
I'm exactly the same.
I'm just not the best person at coping with stress. So for me, stress is like the trigger.
I'm exactly the same, and I totally get that. And my number one stress strategy is I just burst into tears. It's really easy for something like that to happen, and you feel yourself getting stressed, and suddenly it becomes really overwhelming. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is that one little thing can completely shift the way that you're thinking and feeling about the whole day. And is
your whole life.
Oh,
Maybe that's just me.
No, definitely not just you. But how do you then interject and stop that from becoming like this whole negative thought spiral? Because I definitely do that thing when something comes in, something stresses you out, whatever it might be, and then I doubt my confidence in something else, and then I'm worried that I forgot to call my friend, and then
I'm never going to get everything
done. And everything bundles into one, and there's definitely so much that we can do. Well, what's your favourite kind of...
Oh, there's so many things. I have like strategies now. So number one is to-do list, because I do a daily to-do list, and I'll just be like, okay, look at the to-do list now and rejig it. What can I put out off till tomorrow? What can I like move around to later in the week? What is actually urgent? What needs to get done now? Am I panicking for no reason? Can I do this tomorrow? Do I have to do this right now? Because I think sometimes like, oh my God, I need to do it right now. But no, you don't, Zanna. Chill out.
Yeah, it's like putting that pressure on yourself when it's not even there.
I think, and also just putting things into perspective and saying to myself, am I going to be panicking about this in a week's time? Or in a month's time? Or in a year's time? No. So for me, it's kind of stepping back and looking at the grand scheme of things, and then going through practically how I can get it done.
And are you a to-do list on the phone, or do you like to physically write it down?
I'm on the phone, and I do it the night before, then in the day I go through and rejig it and change it around as the day goes on.
Well, that's the benefit of doing it on a phone. I have to write it down. That's that's one of my things, I have a list like this long on my phone, but if I really want to get something done, a list in my notebook is like the best way.
So what makes you feel like you're having a bad day?
I think feeling like I haven't done enough. Partly it's just the world that we live in, but also I think when you're working for yourself, there is often this overwhelming feeling that you could be doing more.
Oh my God.
And I think there's a lot that kind of feeds into that, and come back to social media again, but you always see, it's really easy to compare yourself to other people, and I try really hard to make sure that I don't, and I've tried to become a lot more boundaried with the way in which I use social media platforms, because I think it's really important to bring comparison to yourself and not worry about what everybody else is doing. But either that, seeing what somebody else is doing and thinking, oh God, I should be working harder. If someone posts and is like, I'm still working at midnight, and you're like, oh, well, today I finished working at 8. Should I be doing more? And you're like, no, that's a really unhealthy attitude.
And sometimes it's like the guilt of taking time off.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
if you actually let yourself have a weekend for once, and then everybody else is like, I'm grinding on Sunday morning, and you're like,
oh I was really enjoying my nice walk.
Yeah, now I feel really
hanging out with my friends. Yeah. But guilt is a massive thing for me. So whether that's, whether it's I'm worried that I've upset somebody, or even if I think that I've taught a class and I didn't really give as much as I'd intended to give, or, you know, felt like I haven't done something to the best of my ability. I find that quite stressful.
So it's self-criticism in a sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, self-awareness and self-criticism.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for me, for dealing with that, and I'm getting there. I've got much stronger coping mechanisms than I used to have. I used to really spiral, and now I'm really good at trying to. Normally I'll just have a cry and be like, right, now let's get this sorted.
What are we doing this video, guys? Have a cry.
And the crying is good for you. When I was younger, I remember my granny always telling me, she was like, if you feel like crying, just cry. Yeah. I think I took that a little bit too literally. And luckily I have people like Will who are very good at being like, I'm pointing up there because he's sitting up there. But yeah, he was really practical at being like, right, Annie, what can you do? What do you need to do now? And where can you take the pressure off?
My boyfriend's exactly the same. Maybe that's another point to say, talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because if I get super overwhelmed, I'll call my mum or my dad or my boyfriend and just be like, this is what's going on, this is how I feel. And they're always so rational, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, Zanna, why are you panicking? Just do this, just do that. Just cancel that plan or make time here.
Yeah, exactly. But also, even just saying it out loud sometimes is the most relieving thing. Just be like, hey, this is what I have to do. And sometimes you just solve your own problem. You're like, oh, it's okay now.
Yeah. Sometimes just talk it out and you're like, oh, it's not that bad actually.
Yeah. But it's just, I think what's the worst thing that you can do when you're having a bad day, by contrast? So like, how do you make yourself worse?
We were saying this earlier. Social media, going on social media and comparing yourself.
It's the worst.
Like, it's fair enough going on social media and just having a browse, but if you go on and invest yourself in comparison and saying like, oh, she's doing this, they're doing that, and I'm over here feeling like poo, then it's not really going to go down very well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
if you have that awareness to just be like, okay, I recognise that this is how I'm feeling, and I can recognise what is and isn't helping the situation.
Yes.
I think that's kind of, for me, the ticket to being like, okay, I can deal with whatever's thrown at me. Yeah.
So I think we're going to be having good days from now on.
I hope so. But bad days happen, and and I think that's really important to recognise, is that it's okay to have a bad day. We all have bad days, but hopefully if we learn to deal with them, they become more like bad moments in amazing sunshine, rainbow-filled days.
Yes, just develop those coping mechanisms, guys.
So we are going to be filming another video, which is going to be on Zanna's channel.
We are going to bust some fads, guys.
I'm excited.
It's going to be juicy.
Yeah, so make sure you check out our video if you enjoyed this one. And I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking here. If you want more videos like this, then you can see them here. And if you want to check out my blog, then the link is here.